Welcome to Super Tuesday, presented by Hotels.com from a rockin' Viejas Arena in San Diego. Tonight, the San Diego State Aztecs host their conference rival, the Fresno State Bulldogs. Drew Felios alongside the Kentucky legend Kyle Macy. We've got two of the top three teams in the Mountain West going head-to-head, and perhaps the most talented player in Marvell Harris of Fresno State.
Marvell Harris is the best all-around player in the Mountain West Conference. He does so many different things for the Bulldogs, scoring over 19 points a game. He's got great range from beyond the three-point line, has a real good mid-range pull-up game, but also, as we see here, can finish in around the basket with that strength at 210 pounds. Just a great all-around player. Leads the team in assists, leads the team in steals, was all defensive player last year in the Mountain West Conference. He's a tough one to guard.
And he's coming off a 32-point game over the weekend in a win over San Jose State. San Diego State, they're going to have their hands full defensively, but you know Steve Fisher has this team ready. They do it with defense.
Anytime you talk about Steve Fisher's teams, you think defense, and this team is no exception, holding teams down to a low shooting percentage. They don't give up many offensive boards, a very sticky, switching man-to-man defense.
San Diego State wears the home white. Fresno State wears the away red. Our officials tonight, David Hall, Mike Reed, and Tommy Nunez. Should be fun. San Diego State has a decisive edge in this series. They have beaten Fresno State 9 out of the last 10 times. Bulldogs want to get the series in their favor tonight, as it's won by the Aztecs, and Hemsley, the freshman, controls.
Fresno State will play a lot of man-to-man themselves, although they will mix in a few zone defenses trying to confuse the Aztecs a couple times down the floor.
Winston Shepard, senior forward out of Houston. Nice move inside, but left a little short by Trey Kell, and here come the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs looking to move in transition. They prefer a little more up-tempo game than the Aztecs, so it'll be a fight of wills to see who can control that tempo.
Stolen away. Here comes Kell. He has been playing outstanding as of late, but knocked away, and the Bulldogs have got it coming back. Both of these teams with the exact same record, but keep in mind the Aztecs have not lost a conference game just yet. Fresno State 3-2 in conference play.
And real important for the San Diego State Aztecs to not have a game where they kind of fall asleep, because they've got some good, tough road wins. They don't want to give away one at home.
Nice finish inside. That's Torrin Jones, the junior out of Chandler, Arizona. He's been playing well as of late.
He really has. And I think Jones brings a different dimension to this Fresno State team because of his inside presence. He's a real good athlete in around the rim and can finish around the basket.
Got 5 double-doubles this season. Kell trying to work his way inside. Got cut off and a little sloppy. Here is it's out of bounds to Fresno State.
San Diego State may showing a few signs here early of some of the travel difficulties they had coming back after the big win up at Boise State the other night.
Already 2 quick turnovers for San Diego State. Now Jones from the top of the key. This is Marvell Harris, first time he's touched it. Shot fired from three-point land, little bit to the right, and rebounded by Hemsley. And we got a foul on the floor. It's going to be on Marvell Harris.
Yeah, Hemsley drawing the foul with the penetration to the basket. The freshman really bringing a lot of confidence to this team with his game.
Hemsley steps out from about 17. He did not play well the last time out for San Diego State. He's looking to get it going tonight.
One of the few games where he's not played very well. He's had an outstanding freshman season. Kind of unusual that a freshman would step in with a veteran squad like Steve Fisher's team is and take over the reins, as well as being the leading scorer.
So already 3 turnovers for the Aztecs. San Diego State coming off a couple wins over Colorado State and Boise State. Had a very tough travel weekend, and some worries perhaps that they may have some tired legs tonight. We'll have to keep an eye on that as Harris tries to tee that one up, boarded by Spencer. Now it's Winston Shepard. Trey Kell guarded closely. Inside to Spencer. They don't get much offense from him, but he'll turn around in the lane and get the Aztecs on the board.
kind of like icing on the cake when he can score in the offensive end like that, other than on an offensive rebound. So a nice solid move going to the left shoulder, using the right hand for the half hook. As you said, known more for his block shots and just great defense, calling out plays from behind the defense.
Now Bulldogs coming back. Guerrero hands to Harris. Marvell Harris.
And as you watch his San Diego State defense, Harris on the drive there, you see all 5 players watching the ball, constantly know where the ball is, giving good help.
Cheatham to the rack. And Zylan Cheatham with an early throwdown to get the crowd going.
Yes, Cheatham brings a lot of energy to this squad. The freshman from Phoenix, Arizona. Sometimes it's not always good, sometimes it's bad, but one thing you can always count on, that's a lot of energy when he comes onto the floor.
Now it's Harris trying to answer, goes strong to the goal and puts it high off the glass.
That's what we talked about, his strength at 210 pounds. He really uses that upper body to kind of bump the defensive player away and then finish at the rim.
As San Diego State knows they've got their hands full with a veteran Fresno State backcourt here tonight. Now 7 seconds to shoot. Kell will fire from 3.
And as you said earlier, Trey Kell has really picked up here lately and shooting the ball much better. He's given his complete game a lot more confidence the way he's been able to knock those shots down.
Kell averaging just over 9 points a game, playing the best basketball of his young Aztecs career without a doubt. And we've got a foul on the floor. It's going to be on Shepard. So San Diego State, a bit of a slow start as we've reached our first timeout. San Diego State started 0 for 2 from the field since 3 for 3. Welcome to Super Tuesday presented by Hotels.com. Fresno State and San Diego State, 2 of the top 3 teams in the Mountain West from Viejas Arena. 66 straight sellout. Drew Felios alongside the Kentucky legend Kyle Macy. An early 3-point lead for the Aztecs. You take a look at the standings. Fresno State can gain a lot of traction with a win tonight.
Would be a big jump to go on the road in the Mountain West Conference and come away with the win. San Diego State trying to hold that home court advantage. They've come away with 3 road wins here early in conference play, so I'd like to extend to a 6-0 mark and kind of start running away from the field. But this is a great matchup because you've got a great individual scorer in Marvell Harris, and you've got great team defense in San Diego State. So back and forth, who's going to win that battle will be the big key.
Well, you're looking at one of the top players in the conference. Many say he is the best. Marvell Harris, senior guard for the Bulldogs.
He does so many different things. Ability to score the basketball. Got those broad, wide shoulders. Can really finish in around the rim. Great mid-range game on the pull-up jumper, but also can knock it down from behind the three-point line. Oh, by the way, leads his team in steals, leads his team in assists, and was an all-defensive player last year in the Mountain West Conference.
And speaking of defense, San Diego State does that pretty well. Only allows 60 points per game. That is 6th best in the country right now.
They just do a great job of getting you into a half-court game. Don't allow many transition baskets. They're really sticky, pressure on the basketball, and a lot of switching because they're all athletic, real long arms, can cover a lot of ground, and so they contest just about every shot their opponents take, and they don't give up many offensive boards.
So big concern tonight for the Aztecs. This is the 3rd game in 7 days. They had a tough weekend traveling also on the road, Kyle. Games against Colorado State and Boise State. There's some worries from Steve Fisher, the head coach of San Diego State, that the legs could be a little bit tired tonight.
And they addressed it in their practice sessions. They did have some travel problems coming back from Boise State. But, I think Steve Fisher obviously has been around long enough, 25 years as a head coach, 17 here at San Diego State University. So he's been through the wars and battles. I'm sure he's addressed that with his team. And it becomes more just a mental thing of not using that as an excuse.
Now here's Torrin Jones, top of the key. Hands to Marvell Harris in traffic and gets that one to go somehow. Wow, what strength.
Yeah, just that upper body strength. He absorbs that contact and still has the control enough of the body to be able to finish that time off the glass.
All 6 of Fresno State's points have come inside the lane. Here's Winston Shepard. He is the leader of these Aztecs. Nice spin in the lane, but can't finish. Boarded, though, by Spencer. Hemsley steps out, and the freshman is on the board for the Aztecs.
Now, Hemsley coming off a down night would like to pick it back up. A good way to start with that three-point shot, knocking it down early in the contest.
Harris tees this one up again. Three-pointer a little bit off to the right. And stepping on the line was Paul Watson. So two big-time stars in this game. This is one of them.
Yeah, Marvell Harris, you see, just absorbing that contact. Somehow has enough body control to get it up off the glass and get it to go down. A good kick out that time to Hemsley. Hemsley able to knock it down behind the three-point line.
Hemsley struggling at Boise State, Kyle. Only a freshman. Perhaps some worries that that could be the start of something, or do you think he'll break out of it?
I think he'll break out of it. He's just such a good player. But, you know, sometimes those freshmen will hit a wall, and it takes a little while to get those legs back. That time it was Dakari Allen coming in off the bench and knocking down the three and the good kick-out pass.
That was Dakari Allen, the junior. And right now a 13-4 run for the home team. And this place is rocking.
And you see all five defensive players aware of where the ball is, where their man is, always packing in the middle, giving up no drives to the basket without some kind of contact.
Here's Guerrero. They'd like to get some more offense out of him. Shot clock winding down. He's got to fire it. And that one, a shot clock violation.
Just typical San Diego State defense. Great defensive position, the full 30 seconds.
Defense mainly man-to-man for the Aztecs. They hold their opponents on the season to only 36% from the floor. They really get after you.
And it's not like they're a team that won't run either in transition. They're not walking it up and using the full 30 seconds on the offensive end to make it a low-scoring game. If they have opportunities, they will fast break. The problem they have sometimes in their offense is when they start standing around and watching each other play. They got to work together and get some ball movement as well as player movement.
Punch it down inside. Back to the bucket for Angelo Chol. The left-handed hook is good.
Yeah, Chol, the lefty, going the natural way, but kind of extended the length that time. A line drive basket going in the hoop.
Aztecs have opened up an early 9-point lead. Now it's Watson looking for some room to operate and somehow gets that one to go. Boy, circus shots by Fresno State here early.
Yeah, and that's what it's taken to score, which is a good thing for San Diego State. The fact they know that those shots won't continue to go in over a full 40 minutes. They've been in excellent position. Just the Fresno State Bulldogs have made some real tough shots.
Staying here with the Aztecs. Cullen Russo's checked into the game for the Bulldogs, wearing number 13. There's Russo. He gives them a big lift off the bench.
He does. He's a good athlete, has excellent size, a real quick jumper off the floor. The JUCO transfer from New Mexico Junior College.
Sweeping in the lane. A little bit of a wild shot there by Allen, and now running are the Bulldogs. Here comes Russo to the rack.
And that's a guy standing at 6'9", 225 pounds, sprinting down the floor, beating everyone out to get that layup on the other end.
Now it's Hemsley. Contact on the floor. They'll wipe out the shot. So Russo getting out on the open floor here in the opening minutes.
Yeah, does a real good job. The rebound, you see, he kicks out to a teammate. He's running his lane, heads up, makes the catch and finish at the rim.
Foul was on Lewis for Fresno State. And we've got another foul. Kyle, looking at this game from start to finish, do you think Fresno State wants a high-scoring game, or do you think Rodney Terry's team wants to slow this down tonight?
No, Fresno State definitely wants to score as many points as possible, get in an up-tempo game. They don't go as deep into the bench as San Diego State, but they play much better when they've got a lot of movement in a full-court game. San Diego State, on the other hand, would like to get into half-court defense.
Wide open inside, and Dakari Allen finishes.
Somebody got lost that time for Fresno State, gave up the easy basket on the inbounds play. We see here with San Diego State already making a lot of substitutions. They'll go 9 deep into their bench.
Here's Watson, turn around, about 18 feet, a little bit too strong, and tipped out of bounds. It belonged to the Aztecs. So San Diego State out to the fast start. They lead by 7. Underneath, easy layup for Dakari Allen.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Hotels.com, the obvious choice for hotels, and in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, it was an incredible summer for the Fresno State Bulldogs. Ask any of them why they're playing such great basketball right now. They point to a trip to Italy back in August. The entire team went, played 3 games there, and got so much more of an experience than just basketball.
Well, not only do you get the 10 extra practice days preparing for that trip, but then all of a sudden you get the chemistry that comes with traveling with your teammates. You see the highlights, places they got to go, the Coliseum in Rome, the Sistine Chapel, St. Mark's Square, the Grand Canal, up around Venice, Lake Como, some beautiful country over there. Had a chance to play there for 3 years, and they love their basketball over there too as well. So just a great trip. Got some excellent bonding for the team. The thing I liked, no technology. They had to turn the cell phones off and actually talk to each other.
Oh, man, from a chemistry standpoint, that was just awesome what it has done with this group. 7-point lead for the Aztecs. Trey Kell tries to tee one up.
Fresno State jumped into a 2-3 zone that time. The Aztecs relying a little bit too much on the outside jumper. Got to attack that zone.
Lionel Ellison is handling the ball. He has checked in for the Bulldogs. Punch it down low, and shot taken and buried. Nice job by Karachi Ado, the junior, just getting better and better.
He's really improved in his career there at Fresno State. Really started out kind of raw, but each year just getting better, more and more offensive minded. And the junior from Dallas, a nice little face-up jumper that time.
Averaging just under 10 points per contest. Now it's Allen waiting for the cutter. He'll take it himself. Not a lot of movement right now in the Aztecs offense. And we've got a foul, and I believe they're going to get Harris on the push.
Pretty good defense, though, by Fresno State. Like you said, had the Aztecs standing around just kind of looking at each other. You got to get that movement, get some flow to your offense.
San Diego State averaging 65 points per game, and they think they can do a lot better as the season goes along. As this one rebounded inside, Chol couldn't stick it back in. And the Bulldogs win the loose ball. Get it to the open man, a little bit too strong, and Chol, the hustle play for the Aztecs. Allen steps out again.
Aztecs unable to score, but Fresno State likes this tempo. They want to go up and down.
And a foul on the floor as Perez is checked in for the Aztecs. Just a freshman?
Yeah, well, a preferred walk-on freshman at that, but a real good outside shooter, 6'3", 175 pounds from San Marcos, California.
Perez picks up his first foul.
Two real keys, I think, Drew, to this game are going to be the rebounding, which we've talked about. Both teams really crash the offensive glass, but also turnovers.
Foul, it's going to be on Kell, and we're going to have 2 shots coming up. Well, get ready, get set this Saturday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. 2 Player of the Year candidates going head-to-head. Melo Trimble of Maryland and Denzel Valentine leading Michigan State. And Saturday, 6:30. You can also watch the game on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, Michigan State's going to get better. You know, they're the one team, I think, in the entire country that probably has adjusted the slowest to the new rules as far as the hand checking and the freedom of movement type things. But, yeah, Maryland really playing well. Melo Trimble, outstanding. Diamond Stone, Robert Carter Jr. I mean, they're a solid team. They could be a Final Four team very easily.
8-2 run now by Fresno State. Why have the Bulldogs been able to get back in this?
Well, just played solid defensively and finally got a few shots to go. You had a little slow start, but they're playing solid defense, not giving up second shots.
Off the glass, somehow Shepard gets that one to go.
And I think that's a key when you're playing San Diego State. Sometimes their offense is a missed shot because they crash the offensive glass so far. So if you can contest shots, but then not give up that offensive board, you've got a good chance to transition going the other way.
Shepard averaging just over 10 a game, and now we got a moving screen. Boy, Ado, he was carrying a defender as he was trying to go in the lane.
He's a physical specimen. I mean, you look at him, and he doesn't mind contact at all. He likes it.
That's the first on Ado.
Don't think he really agreed with that call, but did get called for the foul.
I think Ado and Jones, the 2 big men, going to have to play big tonight for Fresno State to get this win.
I agree. Torrin Jones really gives him a different look when he's in the game. I mean, he's a high flyer, can really get up off the ground quickly, and he gets a lot of putbacks and the defensive rebounds and runs the floor pretty well for a guy his size as well.
Let Winston Shepard operate. Cut off, though, defended well by Watson, and now 5 seconds to shoot. Cheatham tries to get in the lane, and he scores.
Yeah, Cheatham, real good ball handler at 6'9", 215 pounds, using the left hand that time, kissing it in off the glass.
Boy, Cheatham is just nonstop energy for San Diego State. He is always moving.
There's an old saying about playing like your hair's on fire, and if you look at the tint in his hair there on top, it's a little bit red, so I think he's got that figured out.
7-point game. Here's Cesar Guerrero. Now it's Watson. Clock winding down. Guerrero got to put it up now from 17. This one goes down. Fresno State with a great possession there. Torrin Jones doing the honors.
Yeah, good call. You just talked about Torrin Jones and able to hit that mid-range jump shot, but a pretty good defensive possession by San Diego State. So that really takes kind of an arrow to the heart when they finally score late in the shot clock like that.
Second field goal of the game by Jones. Here's the lob to Kell.
Real good look down low by Winston Shepard on that pass.
What about Trey Kell's game stands out to you right now from last year?
Well, you know, he's changed positions. Last year he was called upon to play the point guard spot, and so now this year he's had to make that transition back to his true position, the 2 guard. So the first few games, first part of the season, he struggled a little bit getting back, but now I think he's kind of settling into that role, the shooting guard that he's more comfortable with.
Ado couldn't get it inside. Here's Shepard. Tries to challenge, got cut off. Lots of contact down there right now. Officials letting him play.
Well, Shepard should have used his body and drawn some of that contact. He kind of shied away from it.
Watson high and cleared by Cheatham. You can just tell the intensity on the court right now, how much this game means. Here comes Fresno State. Another tip and a steal.
Great
Wild
hustle.
action on both sides.
Yeah, Cheatham, great hustle. Lost the ball, but then hustled back to come up with the steal.
Perez had it rejected. It is a free-for-all right now, and finally a whistle by Tommy Nunez.
It ain't always pretty, but you gotta love the effort.
Fresno State and San Diego State. Just another Tuesday night in the Mountain West. Super Tuesday presented by Hotels.com here at San Diego Viejas Arena, 23-16. Right now the difference, 3-point shots in favor of the Aztecs.
Aztecs shooting 3 of 5 from behind the 3-point line, whereas Fresno State, they're a big 0 for so far. But Trey Kell knocking down a 3 from the left side, a little jab step to get some room. And then in the kick back out, Jeremy Hemsley knocks the 3 down. Another inside-out attack. This time Dakari Allen knocks down the 3-pointer. So Aztecs doing a good job shooting behind the 3-point line.
Yeah, 3 of 5 so far for the home team.
Another big stat, we talked about the rebounding. San Diego State right now with a 14-6 advantage. 6 of those 14 on the offensive glass. Fresno State yet to grab an offensive board.
That is something that Fresno State head coach Rodney Terry told us is critical tonight. Keeping them off the glass. That's not what he's talking about as Skylar Spencer breaks free underneath.
Wow, another mistake defensively by Fresno State, giving up a basket on out of bounds underneath. Just a pick and slip the pick. That time Skylar Spencer able to come away with a dunk. Now take a look at this free throw by Skylar Spencer. Been shooting left-handed, decides this year he's going to shoot him right-handed. Didn't get that to go down, but he is shooting 57.1% on the season, which is up from shooting him left-handed.
I could not imagine even trying to do that in my backyard, let alone in a live game. Hemsley, he is fouled on his way to the rack. Julian Lewis going to get whistled for Fresno State.
Julian Lewis hasn't played quite as well as he played last year for the Bulldogs, adjusting some more to that bench role. Hadn't really started as many games as he did last season.
And already Lewis has 3 fouls, so the Texas transfer in early foul trouble.
Well, he's a high energy guy. He makes a lot of things happen out there. Sometimes it is picking up those fouls.
So they will get him out of the game. And checking in will be Watson.
Hemsley shooting 75% from the free throw line. Something you like for your point guards to do, because late in the contest they'll have the ball in their hands the majority of the time.
So much attention on Hemsley as he came on campus, recruited to run this offense. How's he doing so far midway point through the year?
I think he's doing very well. I mean, it's unusual that a freshman leads the team in scoring. Kawhi Leonard was the last freshman, I think, to lead this Aztecs team in scoring, and everybody knows where he is, playing very well for the San Antonio Spurs. But not only, scoring the basketball, but also getting his team into sets. One thing that the Aztecs do, they concentrate more on defense, and they get better offensively as the season progresses.
Now it's Malik Pope who just checked into the game. He's got that one knocked away. So San Diego State will set it back up. Keep an eye on Pope, number 21. He has been playing much better as of late. Hemsley trying to create his own shot. A little bit short, pulled in by Russo.
You see the Aztecs sprinting back defensively. They don't give up much in transition, at least not towards the basket.
Watson knocks down the three, and Fresno State could really use some points from him.
Yeah, that's Paul Watson's game. The spot-up shooter, excellent from behind the three-point line, shooting 40% behind the arc. Again, you see not a lot of movement by San Diego State in the offensive end.
How about the shot by Pope? Do you like that shot?
No, kind of just a give-up type shot. You want to attack the rim, maybe draw a foul. And there's still plenty of time on the shot clock, too. Fortunately, they got the offensive board.
The cutter. Able to put it up and in. Trey Kell will go to the line to complete a three-point play.
Great hang time by Trey Kell, but also a real good pass by Winston Shepard that time to get him the ball on the drive to the basket. Here you see just kind of splits off the high post. Spencer. Oh, it was Spencer. I thought it was Shepard, but Spencer made the nice pass. There you see a little bit of hang time with the contact from Russo.
So here's Kell at the line. Mentioned how he is shooting so much better as of late. I think a big reason for that also is because of the ball movement for San Diego State. It's gotten much better.
Right, and again, I think because early in the season they spend so much time on their defensive principles that the offense sometimes lags because of that. But now as they progress into the season, when they're starting to play better offensively, it's because they're getting more movement. Guys are getting more familiar with new players on the team. When you have a freshman that's at the point guard spot, it takes a while to adjust.
Nice defensive play by Shepard, and now the Aztecs running, but the errant pass will turn it over to Fresno State. Well, next week we got two great matchups on Big Monday. 7 Eastern, it's number 20 Duke matching up with 15 Miami in the ACC. And then at 9, Big 12 country, here we come. Kansas and Iowa State at Hilton Coliseum. Both games streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
I really like the way Iowa State played the other night, knocking off Oklahoma. Niang's a handful down low in the post.
Watson was pushed on the floor.
Real impressed by San Diego State's defense, though. Whenever an offensive player drives the basket, there's seemingly one, if not two players waiting to give some kind of help. They never get all the way to the basket.
Second foul on Shepard. Doesn't want to pick up his third, and the jumper knocked down by Watson. So Paul Watson has got a good looking shot tonight.
He's got a real good stroke. It just needs to be a little bit more aggressive sometimes in finding that shot. But there you see the Aztecs kind of got lost in that out of bounds play. No one had a hand up in his face. Very unusual to see.
Now it's Shepard. He lost it out of bounds. So Winston Shepard with 2 fouls. His team, San Diego State, leading by 8. 3:52 left to go, first half.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews for fast heartburn relief.
All right, thanks, Brendan. 8-point lead for San Diego State. Aztecs and Bulldogs tonight on ESPNU. And I'll tell you what, you look at the top 10, I would not want to be the #1 team in the country right now.
Well, 5 different top teams have been beaten. The record, I think, is 7, so we're getting real close to that. But that really wasn't that much of an upset when Oklahoma went to Ames, Iowa, got beat by the Iowa State Cyclones, because Iowa State's a good basketball team. They play exceptionally well at home.
But looking at all those teams, which one do you really like the most, Kyle?
Well, there's a lot of good teams. North Carolina is right up there. I think North Carolina, Oklahoma, Maryland I like. I know they got beat by Michigan last time out and had a close one tonight, but I think they're very talented. All those teams could be at the Final Four.
How about the West Virginia Mountaineers just kind of hanging there?
If you go by the way they played this last week, yeah, they should be considered as one of the top 4 teams.
Marvell Harris, a little quiet in this first half for the Bulldogs.
But that's the way he'll play. He's not really trying to force issues. He just kind of lets the game come to him. Sometimes it's scoring, sometimes it's playing solid defense.
Got to hurry now. 2 to shoot. Harris tries to get it off. And more great Aztec defense forces the second shot clock violation of the night.
And you can see Harris kind of begging for a foul call that time. He thought he was able to draw some contact on the drive to the basket. Take a look, kind of splits the defense off the pick, goes up, and the Aztecs do a real good job not really making any contact. He kind of initiated when he lost the ball. Good no call. Malik Pope with that miss that time. Pope's been playing much better. We had him a few weeks ago when they played Utah State. Really looked out of sync with the rest of the team, but since then has kind of turned it on.
Trying to get position inside, Torrin Jones, and he was bumped from behind by Spencer. So that's going to be the first personal on Skylar Spencer. There you take a look at the youngster Malik Pope out of Sacramento, California. Last couple games, he has really turned up his play, but a little cold coming out tonight.
Well, he had such high expectations, and sometimes you put that extra burden, that pressure on yourself to live up to those expectations. I think Coach Fisher just talked to him and said, hey, you got to go out there and play and have fun. Now, he was injured his senior year in high school, so that, and then with the last year still kind of learning and gaining some strength. I mean, he's got a high ceiling, if you will, a lot of potential in that young man.
Trying to bull his way inside. Missed the easy one, but the putback is good by Ado.
He's a beast in around the basket. You've got to put a body on him. You try to get him away from the basket by blocking out or just face guarding maybe just to get him off the rim.
So 6 points now for Ado, and there's a nice lay-in inside by Cheatham.
Cheatham's been very active this first half, inside and out. Nice finish with the right hand for the left-hander.
6 points for Zylan, 3 rebounds to go with it.
The other thing we're seeing now, anytime that Harris gets the basketball, if he starts to drive, you'll see a second player maybe run at him to try to make him get rid of the basketball.
Here he is. Boy, he is really getting worked over by the Aztecs defense and finally gets a whistle.
Yeah, Allen came over trying to take that charge, but just a little bit late getting there. Harris able to split the defenders.
That foul's on Dakari Allen, his first. It's something that San Diego State worked on in practice. Spent their whole practice trying to cut off that ball penetration.
They do such a good job with that team defense. So anytime the ball goes in, and I watch that player will sag in that time. Didn't get it to go, so they got the rebound heading the other way.
Aztecs now leading by 8.
If you don't get that kind of help defense, it just puts that much more pressure on the one-on-one defender.
Hemsley dumps it off inside. Tough pass. And now it's Kell penetrating. Fresno State basketball. Very physical game.
A little sloppy last couple possessions. But again, I think there's a lot of respect between these two teams. They really appreciate what each other does, how hard they play, the effort they put on the defensive end, the talent level of the offensive players.
Fresno State with 3 big conference wins over UNLV, Nevada, and San Jose State. This one would be the biggest if they can somehow steal one tonight here at Viejas Arena. Tipped away, and a foul on Guerrero as he goes to the deck.
And it may not be the most beautiful work of art as far as the offense in this game so far, but I think it just makes you appreciate how good a defensive team that San Diego State is, as well as Fresno State. They're not bad either on the defense. And that's why we've seen kind of a low-scoring game here this first half with 1:12 to go until halftime.
So the freshman at the line, Jeremy Hemsley. How about the job Steve Fisher is doing? Really settling his team down for conference play. We saw them as they just began play in the Mountain West, and a lot of worries on the San Diego State side that this season was not going to go their way, but they have come out like gangbusters in conference play.
Well, the concern, I think, was because they had lost 3 home games. San Diego, they're in town, a team that hadn't beaten them in a long time. They fell behind, kind of weren't really focused in on the game. It made a big run, cut a 20-point lead down to 1, but just couldn't get over the hump. So they lost that home game. They lost to Grand Canyon. Thunder Dan Marley coaching that team. And a game they felt like they should have won as well. So there was a little bit of concern coming in, but I think they've refocused, and again, just the improved offense, because their defense is always steady. And that's why they've been able to make this run to start conference play.
Foul was on Cheatham, and now here's Torrin Jones at the line. Yeah, San Diego State, the non-conference season drove them bonkers, but they eventually got it together. Here's a look at those close losses.
Yeah, and look at the scoring margin. There's not a big blowout game in any one of those. Arkansas Little Rock at the time was a ranked team, only lost by 6. Utah, everybody knows, is a top team, ranked 16th in the country. So it was a tough pre-conference schedule.
Coming up on 1 minute to play here in the first half, and now the officials start to make their presence felt. Torrin Jones with a hand in the back. Well, get ready, get set this Saturday, 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. 2 Player of the Year candidates, Melo Trimble and Denzel Valentine, leading Maryland and Michigan State. It's going to be fun at the Breslin Center.
Real good matchup there. Good to see Denzel Valentine back on the court after that injury. Hate to see him miss those games.
Angelo Chol at the line, senior forward out of San Diego. He's a hometown boy. Oh, boarded by Cheatham. He had it tipped away, and Hemsley now hands it out to Pope, and he loses it.
Yeah, Pope a little nonchalant on that drive. You know, he actually plays a little bit better, seems like, on the road. Just a little bit more focused in. Maybe gets a little too comfortable playing at home.
Now it's Harris guarded one-on-one by Bell.
Yeah, excuse me, Drew. Fresno goes to that 1-4 set to give Harris a little bit more room to maneuver.
Karachi Ado cleans up another one, and now it's a 6-point game. Steve Fisher does not like the way this half is finishing for his team, and that guy right there making a lot of hustle plays.
Well, Steve Fisher, that use it or lose it timeout. So with 30.6 on the clock, wants to talk about his team, get one good possession, go a little bit early enough to where you may have a chance to get an offensive board, but not so early to where the opponents can get down the floor and get a shot at the buzzer.
How about Steve Fisher, though? The court here at Viejas Arena was named in honor of him, and here's a big reason why. Look at the wins in 17 seasons at San Diego State. They honored him back in October, and I think very fitting.
Oh, it is, and what a great career he's had. You know, 2011 was a great year for him, and National Coach of the Year, NABC Coach of the Year. Adolph Rupp, co-recipient of that award as well in 2011. He's the longest tenured coach in the Mountain West Conference, so he's been around. And it's funny because he's, you know, over 70 years old, but he talks about how this team has really revived him. He feels a lot younger because of their enthusiasm and the way they love to play.
9 Mountain West championships. He has really built this program from scratch, but right now the Aztecs only 1 field goal in the past 5 minutes. They've gone cold.
Look for them to run a little 2-man game up top, a high pick, let Hemsley penetrate and read what the defense does.
Hemsley guarded by Guerrero. Pope's going to let it fly. Cheatham loses it. Kell puts it up and in at the buzzer.
And as we said, they went early enough to be able to get an offensive board because that's the strength of their offense. It's not always the first shot. Sometimes it's the second or third. That time the second one. You see Kell just may have got that poke there on the initial drives, got it up quickly, get it over the top of Watson, And Joel doing a good job not touching the basketball as it falls back down through the cylinder.
San Diego State 9-0 when leading at halftime this season. They've got an 8-point lead as they head to the locker room, 34-26. And our official's going to take one more look and just make sure that the ball came out of his hands in time.
Yeah, I think not only if it came out of his hands, I'm pretty sure it did that, but I think they're probably looking to make sure that Joel didn't touch that when it was in the cylinder for offensive interference. But I think it's going to count. Let's take a different look at it. Here, that initial look from the side, you see we don't see the clock, but the light hadn't come on, so we know the clock is still in play. And now here's, I think, probably what they're going to look at, just to watch that right hand to see if there's any kind of contact at all, and he does a real good job of pulling back.
But he does slap the backboard there while the ball is on the cylinder.
Well, they didn't make that call, though, I think, at the time. So I don't think you can call that after the fact.
Welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by Hotels.com. We're at the half, about to begin second half of play. San Diego State with an 8-point lead over Fresno State. Drew Felios and Kyle Macy, the Aztecs, playing their brand of basketball in the first half.
San Diego State has done an excellent job of controlling the tempo of this game. Early, they knocked down some three-point shots. First, Jeremy Hemsley knocks down one, then Troy Kell knocks down another. And what that will do, really open up the inside play. That time, Kell on a lob pass over the top from Shepard. A mistake. Someone falls asleep on the out-of-bounds play. It allows Spencer to get a dunk and another penetrating drive. And Cheatham this time, recipient of a good pass and a finish. So that outside presence really opened up the inside drives.
So Trey Kell, your leader in scoring for the Aztecs. He's got 9. And for Fresno State, Karachi Ado has 8 points. Harris, the leading scorer, has only 4 for the Bulldogs.
I look to him to be much more aggressive to start this second half. But we talked about San Diego State really attacking the basket. 11 of their 14 points have been scored in the paint. Excuse me, 11 of their 14 baskets have been shots in the paint. Those other 3 were the 3 shots we talked about, 3-point shots.
Set shot by Jones gets the Bulldogs out and running.
So like the way you like to start the second half, to get a basket first possession for Fresno State.
The lob, Hemsley, nicely done.
Well, there's the difference, Troy, in the two defenses. No help at all from the teammates that time by Fresno State, where we've seen so many times San Diego State in that first half gave all kind of help anytime there's any kind of penetration going to the rim.
You just feel the chemistry building with each game between Hemsley and Kell.
I think you're seeing it with not only Kell, but the entire team. Hemsley, you know, just getting more and more comfortable at that point guard position. Everybody understanding how he likes to play as well.
Little screen roll that time, and somehow Karachi Ado gets it to go, and he'll go to the line to complete the 3-point play.
Let's take a look at that last play down. Kell over the top to Hemsley, this point guard. Jeremy Hemsley able to finish, and then that last play just a solid, absorbing that contact, nice soft touch off the glass for 2 for Ito.
Skylar Spencer whistled for the foul, his first. So Karachi Ado averaging just over 9 right now with 10 for the Bulldogs. High screen. Spencer trying to not pick up a foul. Shepard very quiet tonight, and he still is quiet.
Yeah, that's not really Shepard's game to step out beyond the 3-point line. He's more of a attack the rim type player.
Intercepted by Kell. Great hands, but maybe hesitated just a little bit before going to the rim.
Yeah, kind of slowed down at the rim, and Harris doing a real good job of hustling back. He made the mistake, but to his credit, didn't hang his head. Sprinted back down the court and is going to make Kell earn the points from the free throw line. Good hustle.
Second foul on Harris.
And you noticed it wasn't called flagrant because he was made a play on the basketball as well. Didn't just go up and try to grab Kell from behind.
Kell now in double figures.
Yeah, Trey Kell, normally you would think, as good a shooter as he is, only shoots 60% from the free throw line.
Here are the sound effects coming from the student body right above Steve Fisher Court. About 2,500 student seats
Yeah, classes will start later this week, so they're not even back in session yet. Came back a little bit early to watch their Aztecs play.
Ado misses that one from the baseline, and now Hemsley 3-on-3. Had it taken away by Harris. And now all alone, the throwdown by Jones.
Jones kind of cherry picking a little bit that time late, getting back on defense, but it worked out to his advantage.
Fresno State just kind of hanging around. San Diego State has had their moments in this game, but Bulldogs doing a nice job just kind of hanging in.
And I think that's because of their experience. They've got 2 seniors and 3 juniors that start and play a lot of the minutes. So they've been around. They know the game's not won that first half.
Hemsley from the corner.
A big shot that time by Jeremy Hemsley, the freshman. Little momentum changer. Looked like Fresno was kind of starting a run. Kind of puts the brakes on.
Hemsley is not afraid to take the big shot.
No, he does not lack confidence at all. Not that he's, you know, cocky and overconfident, but he has a lot of trust in his own game.
Now Jones back to the bucket. They'll reset with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Harris. Nice look inside. Ado finishes.
Yeah, excellent pass. So really read the defense. Everyone going to go up and block his shot. So he gave a little head fake, little dish underneath to his teammate.
That's
good look.
The sign of a great player, somebody who makes everybody better around them.
Yeah, and a lot of players, if they're younger especially, you know, they didn't do much scoring that first half. They know they're the team's leading scorer, so they're going to kind of force the issue and try to take more shots. But, you know, he's so experienced, just waiting and biding his time.
Another 2 by Kell. You know, Kell really looking to drive the lane. He's just not settling for that outside shot tonight.
Well, when they made those early shots, so it really opened up because the defense has to extend out and try to guard those perimeter shots, which then opens up those driving lanes. But again, no help at all on the weak side on the drive. He was able to go all the way to the backboard.
Harris has it rejected. Shepard now controlling for San Diego State. Shepard left alone, finds Hemsley wide open.
A good look though. Couldn't fault the effort. Nice inside out kick. Hemsley was wide open, just didn't get it to go.
Bad pass out of bounds. Watson couldn't hang on to it. So San Diego State, an 8-point lead at the half, and the lead is still 8. Marvell Harris, the nice dish underneath. Bulldogs still hanging around.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Volkswagen and State Farm. Find your agent at statefarm.com.
42-34, San Diego State, an 8-point lead. In my opinion, Kyle, San Diego, the best weather in the country.
Now, I want to clarify, we're not being invaded by aliens here. This is a shot of the airport as the planes come in and landing. But San Diego is a great town, knowing from playing when I was with the Phoenix Suns, going out there, the great weather. Not everyone's trying to be a movie star like they are up the coast in L.A., so just a great location.
They love their Aztecs here at Viejas Arena here in San Diego. 66 consecutive sellout. Drew Felios, Kentucky legend Kyle Macy coming at you.
Drew, we talked about the importance of rebounding and taking care of the basketball. So far, the turnovers about even. San Diego State has one more at 9-8, but the Aztecs doing a much better job rebounding the basketball. 10-4 offensive rebound advantage.
Ben Perez has checked into the game for the Aztecs. Here he is taking the shot. Joel tried to keep it alive. Torrin Jones tracks it down. Just kind of waiting for that big Fresno State run. They've been able to hang in, but they usually seem to trade buckets so far with San Diego State. Here's Jones getting free inside.
Yeah, real nice look up top from Russo. The high-low look, fishing it right over the top. Jones able to finish. But I think some of that is because of San Diego State's defense. They just don't allow those big 12-0, 15-0 runs because they're so solid, such good team help defense.
Now it's Kell. He has been outstanding penetrating, held up as he went to the rim.
And even when their offense is struggling at times, as it will, they manage to stay in games or keep leads by playing just good, solid defense.
So now here's Trey Kell. He is the leading scorer tonight with 12 points.
And one of the things that Trey Kell does very well is not only is his scoring improved here the last 5 or 6 games, but he also is a real good rebounder from the guard position.
Well, Kyle, you mentioned him playing point guard last year, now playing at the 2 guard. You played both those positions. How much are they different?
Night and day. I mean, from the 2 guard position, you're looking to shoot whenever you get the basketball. At the point guard position, you're looking for everyone else to shoot first, and then if the defense doesn't respect you, they back off. Then once in a while, you take a shot just to keep them honest.
Off balance. Oh, wow. Circus shot. Russo really got off his feet.
And we talked about Russo's athletic ability, just a good balance, good finish. You know, it's a tribute to Rodney Terry, the way he's been able to get all these players that have been at other schools to transfer in and to mesh together. You know, he talked about how they even hired a sports psychologist to work with the players.
Kell off balance. Nice shot.
Yeah, Kell again being much more aggressive offensively. Has real good touch in around the basket. But that sports psychologist, not just talking one-to-one to players. I was really interested in that when he brought that up, but also some group things. So everybody kind of just understands each other, more about each other, feels more comfortable around each other and sharing things.
Really the little things that separate those good teams from the great teams. The great ones really go the extra mile. And more physical play inside. We're going to get a foul on Chol. So Rodney Terry in his 5th season at Fresno State, he has taken gradual steps year after year to get this program where he wants it to be, and it has begun with an upgrade in talent.
It has, and he also, the other thing that's impressive is each year in the Mountain West Conference, the win total has increased. So trying to do that for the 4th consecutive year.
Loose underneath. San Diego State ball. Take a look at the body of work for Rodney Terry. I think last year was sort of disappointing. They did get 10 wins in conference play, but just under 500 overall.
Right, and you know, he has a great resume. I mean, longtime assistant at Texas, was at Wilmington, was at Richmond before Texas. Has been around a lot of great players: T.J. Ford, D.J. Augustin, Kevin Durant, Tristan Thompson. I mean, you can go right down the list. So just to be around those players and work with them, obviously, it's going to have a great impact on the player he's coaching now as a head coach.
Ball went off the leg of Chol. So Fresno State very much in this basketball game, just trailing by 5, and we've got more substitutions. Kell will take a break. As you look at the turnover story, San Diego State with 10 on the night.
And that's a pretty good number for San Diego State. They have a tendency to turn the ball over a little bit. In fact, they're a team, interesting the fact that all but one player has a negative assist to turnover ratio, and that's their point guard, and he's just at even, so he doesn't even have a positive.
Harris missed the shot. Malik Pope charging the other way. Here come the Bulldogs back the other way. Harris will lay it in.
Good read that time by Harris. And a smart move by Jeremy Helmsley just to step back, not try to come up with a great block and commit the foul in a three-point play.
Harris only has 6 points. That, too, were his first points since the 15-minute mark of the first half.
Well, again, he was their point of emphasis on the defensive scouting report, and the Aztecs have done a good job of knowing where he is at all times.
Perez lets it fly.
I think sometimes, too, for the Aztecs, because they do play such solid defense, they're always down in stance and sliding, that it hinders their offense. Sometimes their legs are a little bit heavy at times when they go to jump and take that shot.
Now 7 to shoot. Let's see if Harris tries to put some of the offense on his back here. Marvell Harris can't get it to fall.
The Aztecs again double teaming on that drive. Tried to put up a tough shot. They'll play the percentages that way.
Now the Aztecs will slow things down.
You see Harris giving the nod, pointing to himself, needs a substitution. He's exhausted. Got to catch a breather.
Allen in the lane. Wide open. Bulldogs need this one. Doesn't go down. Rattles around. And now Hemsley attacking. Jeremy Hemsley rejected. Russo made a tremendous defensive play.
And still talking a little smack on the way back down the floor, too. I thought the official might blow the whistle, give him a little talk.
Fresno State has cut the lead to 3. And they are pumped up on the Bulldogs sideline. Great defensive play by the Bulldogs. Russo says, get it out of here. Bulldogs convert on the other end. Super Tuesday presented by Hotels.com. 3-point lead for San Diego State here in one of the great atmospheres in college basketball. Viejas Arena seating just over 12,000, and that student section is something else here as you look at the 66th consecutive sellout.
Yeah, they call them the show, and the way that came about, they were a little bit, I don't want to say obnoxious, but they were really into the game and carrying on. And one of the board members said, you know, you guys think people come to see you play. You think you're the show. And it stuck. And the students liked it. And they've got a big banner they throw up before the game that we are the show. And it's a lot of fun.
Right now the show needs to get going. Their team could use a little bit of extra energy here. San Diego State only 1 field goal in the past 6 minutes. As the Aztecs draw a foul underneath, I believe it's going to be on Russo. So 10:33 left to play in the first half. Russo getting it done on defense for the Bulldogs. Is that Rey Mysterio in the house? Perhaps. 45-42. San Diego State a 3-point lead over Fresno State. Drew Felios and Kentucky legend Kyle Macy. The Aztecs a little bit cold here in the second half. Only Kell and Hemsley have scored.
But they're hanging in there, again, by their defensive play. You got to believe they'll get that offense going, get it on track here. But Fresno State's done a real good job of executing on the offensive and getting a little bit better shot. They've been a little bit more aggressive going to the basket and just crashing those offensive glass on the missed shots. It's not been a thing of beauty, though, a work of art, if you will, by any means. It's going to come down to who's just the toughest, who wants it the most, and who's willing to do those little dirty things, the dirty work, if you will, to get the win for his team.
Well, speaking of dirty work, this young man at the line, Zylan Cheatham, he's got two nicknames. Listen to this. One is the Animal, and the other, the Junkyard Dog. How's that for doing the dirty work?
I think I'm going to go with the second one.
He is an energy guy for the Aztecs. Rims out on the second free throw. Great hustle to keep it alive.
You know, they kind of reference him to Ben Wallace, former Detroit Pistons, the way he's so physical and goes after the boards. Very active.
Offensive rebounds in favor of the Aztecs. Kell sweeping through the lane.
Nice body control. Russo had come over to try to take a charge. He just slipped right by him, still able to get it up off the glass and in.
15 points on 6 of 8 shooting for Kell. Crowd really getting into it here at Viejas Arena.
And again, just look at all the defensive players, their heads looking right at the basketball, always knowing where that ball is. See Rodney Terry telling his team, just slow down, stay under control. Guerrero just a little bit out of control that time.
Well, San Diego State, one thing they can do, they can force you to play ugly.
They do a real good job of forcing ugly games, but they're comfortable in that situation because they have so much confidence in their defense.
Shepard spots up.
That's Shepard's game. It's the mid-range game as well as post-ups or drives of the basket. We saw him take a 3 earlier, and that's just not his strength. You got to play to what you do best. That time a good pull-up jump shot right mid-range.
Just like that, the lead pushed back to 8. Harris going to let it fly, top of the key. Now it's Cheatham. Kell goes to the rack. Looked like he was hit, no contact, and it's Fresno State ball.
And actually, Kell missed Shepard. He was wide open. All he do is throw it up towards the rim, a little lob pass. Instead, tried to score it himself. Take a look here on the break. They throw it up ahead to Kell, and we can't really see it from that angle, but Shepard was right there, had his hands open. You could tell he wanted the basketball. One thing, the modern game, you don't see many bounce passes going to the rim. Usually if you've got a 2-on-1, you draw the defense, then just throw it up the rim. Players are so athletic, they get up there and finish with 2 hands.
Well, look at all the players converging.
All 3 players that time going for Julian Lewis's drive to the basket.
If you don't play help defense for Steve Fisher, you're not going to play. Now it's Russo. Shot clock only at 7. Harris got to hurry up. I don't think he realized it until now.
Well, what happens by that good help defense, it makes you play one-on-one offense, and that's something that Fresno State's not that good at. They play more team offense, moving the ball side to side, getting the defense to shift. So it's kind of taking them out of that game.
Emsley missed from his spot.
Good pass.
Julian Lewis to Russo. That's how you get it done.
Yeah, Lewis, kind of a no look, almost looking down, and threw that nice bounce pass cross court.
6 and 4 for Russo.
Again, Russo at 6'9", runs the floor so well. For young players watching out there, if you'll run the floor and you've got a good point guard, keep your hands up, because there's a good chance you're going to get a chance to score a layup.
Good chance for Fresno State here to cut it to 4, maybe even 3 with a 3-pointer. Russo, a big lift off the bench. Can't get that one to go down.
Again, Kell rebounding from the guard spot. Not a lot of second chance opportunities for the San Diego State opponents.
Keep in mind, San Diego State has beaten Fresno State 9 out of the last 10 times. They want to make it 10 out of 11 here tonight. Cheatham, a little bit confused. Got to get rid of it.
Double dribble.
And it'll be a turnover for San Diego State. So Fresno State still in the game. 7:19 to go here in San Diego. Six-point game here at VAS Arena. One thing's certain, when you come in here, you know you're going to earn your points.
Well, it's all based on San Diego State's defense. They do such a good job of making it difficult to score, whether it's deflections out on the floor that lead to transition baskets, or it's just protecting the rim. You always want to protect the basket and build your defense out, but you can see in all these clips, the Aztecs are very active with their hands and do a great job of making it difficult to put the ball in the basket.
And eventually that kind of defense just wears on you. There you take a look at what Steve Fisher's program has done this season.
Well, to give you an idea, the opponent's points per game, they're at 60. They held Boise State at 25 points below their scoring average on the season the last time out. So you got to give credit to Fresno State, though. You see normally 36%. Fresno's shooting 42.6 so far, so they're blistering hot. Well, okay, maybe not blistering hot.
And not much separating the two from the field. 3-pointers, though. Big time edge there for San Diego State. The offensive rebounds also in the Aztecs' favor. Torrin Jones trying to work underneath. He's got Pope all over him. And a whistle on the floor. So
Shepard got caught that time with the low hand, the body check, the forearm. That's the point of emphasis on the freedom of movement rule. You can't put that forearm on the driver or the hand check.
And that's his third foul. Quick shot on the out of bounds play, knocked down by Julian Lewis. He has played a nice game off the bench.
He's a solid player, and he's still adapting to that reserve role because he did start a lot of games last year. Hadn't done that this year, but a big basket that time.
50-46. Temperature starting to heat up. Now it's Kell, the high man. Dishes it out. Pokes three. Little short. Tipped up and in. And that was Angelo Chol working the glass.
Somebody forgot to put a body on Chol. Right there in front of the rim. No one around. Just tips it in easily with the left hand.
San Diego State, they don't have that one big time score. It seems like they do it by committee. They find ways to get points, and they find ways to protect the goal as well.
That time it was Chol with the block. We know that Skylar Spencer is the all-time shot block leader in San Diego State basketball history, but Chol coming over from the weak side with the left hand. The lefty knocks it out of bounds.
Officials quick to step in there. There's a couple big guys going at it. Angelo Chol and Torrin Jones. Lewis can't hit it. Shepard clears. Winston Shepard tries it again. Boy, that's a great job of staying with it after it was poked away from him.
Real good patience, good body control. That spin move along the baseline. You know, Shepard is 6'8", 210, the senior out of Houston. Just lost control that first time, but got it, went back the other way this time and draws the foul.
That'll be the third on Russo. And here's the senior from Houston.
Shepard's missed his last 3 free throws in a row, 2 the other night late in the game against Boise State. Could have cost him, and now this one. But normally a real good free throw shooter. Shooting about 75% on the season.
Really become a leader this year on this team. Only 5 points, but he's done a lot of other things on the court tonight.
Very active. I mean, he plays solid defensively. He gets everybody into offense on the offensive end. Plays with a lot of energy. The more energy he brings, the better the Aztecs play.
Harris on the run. Nothing easy tonight.
And again, the Aztecs just taking the tempo away from the games. The Fresno State was trying to run an offensive set, but it got to where it just stopped. So then Harris had to go one-on-one. And actually 1-on-5 by the time he got to the basket.
Marvell Harris only 6 points tonight, 3 of 15 shooting. This one is off, and now Shepard attacking the other way. 7-point game. Hemsley will pull it out. So right now the Aztecs in the driver's seat, and keep in mind San Diego State has won the last 156 games when leading with 5 minutes on the clock. I say the odds are pretty good they get it done again.
That's an amazing streak, though. To do anything 156 times in a row like that. And there's got to have been a few where it came down late. And even the Boise State game, there was a chance they could have lost that one when they were leading at the 5-minute mark.
Harris just not on his game tonight offensively after scoring 32 his last time out. Shot up by Allen. Both teams a little cold here. We got a foul on the floor. Well, this Saturday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN, Maryland takes on Michigan State. Denzel Valentine and the Spartans. Melo Trimble and the Terrapins. Should be a great time.
Diamond Stone really coming into his own there for the Maryland Terrapins. Makes a big difference, that low post presence.
Our official tonight, Tommy Nunez. Boy, he has been through a lot officiating basketball games. I mean, you're very aware of him going back in the day, right?
Yeah, his father actually refereed games when I was playing with the Phoenix Suns. So,
oh, man.
Yeah, I've known him for quite a long time.
Seven-point game. What does Fresno State have to do to try and catch up here?
Well, they just want to try to execute better offensively, get better shots, keep that team flow. Don't just get break down, start playing one-on-one. If they can get the ball swinging side to side, shift the defense, open up some opportunities, and then make shots, they'll be okay. Because defensively, they're playing pretty well. They've held San Diego State to 53. I think they're pretty happy with that.
Runner in the lane. Little too strong, hanging on the rim, and they're going to wipe this one away.
But even that, you see it late in the shot clock, they had to go one-on-one, and it's just real hard to finish shots when guys are hand in the face.
Bulldogs gone a little cold. 2 of their last 12. 3:56 to play.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Hotels.com, the obvious choice for hotels, and in part by Angry Orchard Hard Cider. Explore the orchard.
Little quiet tonight in the Gaslamp District here in San Diego. 53-46. Aztecs over the Bulldogs, and one piece that San Diego State looking forward to getting back is Matt Shrigley. He tore his ACL back in July, and they're waiting on his return.
Yeah, he started workouts now and playing a little controlled 3-on-3 and 4-on-4, but they look to get him back because he can give some more outside scoring. He's a real good outside shooter, has some experience. The junior, 6'6", 180 pounds, out of right there here in San Diego.
Had to really shuffle their lineup at the beginning of the season to accommodate that, as the Aztecs trying to attack quickly. And Spencer's going to get free throws. As take a look at Shrigley, that outside touch there missing big time.
Yeah, he's been a little bit injured prone. He had a injury last year on the elbow. Did play 30 games with a non-shooting hand elbow injury, but hopefully they'll get him back and add a little more depth to this team. Not that they need a lot of depth. They're already playing 9 players, but just that outside shooting presence would be a big help.
Foul was on the floor, so no free throws. This is Hemsley going to the deck. Now the Bulldogs with an opportunity. Marvell Harris dishes that one off and put in by Julian Lewis.
Great finish by Julian Lewis, using the body absorbing that contact, kind of initiating the contact to start, still managed to get it up in the basket.
The crowd wanted to carry that time. Lewis thought he was fouled.
Yeah, Harris hit a loose board or something. The ball kind of ricocheted up high. He got it back down. I don't think it was carry.
Kell trying to hang on to it. 8 seconds to shoot for Hemsley. Jeremy Hemsley. Fresno State can cut it to 3 and even 2 with a three-pointer.
And we've talked a lot about the San Diego State defense, but let's give some credit to Fresno State's defense. They've done an excellent job, especially this second half. One and done and controlling, pressuring all the outside shots.
Can the Bulldogs heat up? Harris is the one to do it. Kept alive. Edo. Second try, and he's got free throws.
Well, right now, the Bulldogs beating the Aztecs at their own game, crashing the boards on the offensive end.
That foul's on Malik Pope, his second. How about Caracciotto, who came in to Fresno State, just a raw athlete, and is built on that year after year, has developed some great basketball skills. 12 points tonight.
He's an effort man. I mean, he comes onto the floor and just gives you everything he has, and a great offensive rebounder, averaging over 3 a game in conference play, and just limited maybe in some of his potential, what he can do, but he gives you everything he's got.
3 of 5 from the line for Edo, and the lead is 4. So if you're San Diego State, do you take your time here, or do you not be complacent and try and attack?
Well, I think you want to stay aggressive. I mean, you don't have to hurry, and you don't want to take a bad quick shot, but you want to still be aggressive. Still plenty of time on the clock, and if you can get inside shots like Shepard just did, majority of the time that ball's going to go down. That was a nice move.
Just hasn't gotten the rolls tonight. Now it's Harris. Sweeping through the lane, leaving it a little short. Second try is up and good by Lewis.
And Lewis coming in off the bench, very aggressive, attacking the rim, getting the second chance that time. But just because he's going at the basket, kind of putting the Aztec defense on their heels.
So the Aztecs with their last field goal at the 6:25 mark, and Fresno State getting a big lift by Lewis off the bench.
Well, Julian Lewis just driving hard to the basket. The shooter knows better than anyone where the ball is going to go if it's not going to go in the basket. And that time fouled it right back, got the rebound, and put it right back in. Good hustle by Julian Lewis.
Well, Julian Lewis, interesting. He is the only guy on Fresno State's team to have any NCAA tournament experience. He went to the tournament his freshman season playing for Texas. Here he is as a Bulldog, and the Fresno State hopes that some of that experience rubs off because they want to get to the big dance.
Yeah, it's good to have guys on your squad that have been through those battles and wars and kind of be a leader out there, telling some of the younger players maybe what to expect, what's going to happen, and in this instance leading by example. He's come in off the bench and given the Bulldogs a big boost.
6 points tonight, but he's done a lot of other things on the floor. And a key bucket just moments ago. So Marvell Harris averaging 19, well below his average tonight. Only 6 points, but Fresno State is still in it. Here's Kell. Big time move.
Wow. What control that time. Looked like he was going to get tripped up and somehow managed to get the ball up on the rim and soft enough that it went in. Just a great individual effort by Trey Kell.
He is tied a career high now. He's got 19. And a new career high, 20 for the sophomore Trey Kell. Aztec fans on their feet here in San Diego.
We talked about that long streak, 156 games when leading with 5 minutes. It's a possibility here, but also you look ahead. How good is this conference tournament going to be come the end of the year? UNLV now with a new coach seems to be playing better.
Marvell Harris is not done just yet.
That's where you want your senior leader to step up, and that's exactly what Marvell Harris just did. But you got Utah State always very good. Boise State's very good. We know Vegas now is going to be better. San Diego State's tough. We're watching a real good Fresno State team. Just got a little rhythm off the dribble, pulled straight up, knocked it down.
It's one thing that great scorers do, Kyle. They could be quiet for most of the night, and then when you really need it, they could turn it on just like that.
And a lot of that just from the experience of being a senior. Knowing that, don't panic. There's still plenty of time, over a minute to play. Now making it a 2-point game. He's been through those battles. He's performed before, so he's got a lot of confidence.
You played with a guy like that back in the day. A couple of them, in fact.
Had a few of them I was fortunate enough to play on the same team with.
Give me a few names.
There's a guy in Chicago named Michael Jordan, I think was his last name. Yeah. Kiddingly tell people we combined for 70 in the playoff game against the Boston Celtics one year in the playoff first round, I guess it was. He had 63, I had 7.
Oh, man. Hey, your effort's still much appreciated to this day, for sure. 2-point game. Inside of a minute to go in San Diego. Hemsley off the mark. Offensive rebound and a foul. That was one that Fresno State really needed to grab.
Well, Hemsley had a wide open look from the corner, but Jeremy just couldn't get it to go. But you give Spencer a lot of credit going up and getting that offensive board. Now take a look at Spencer's free throw form. Skylar Spencer only shooting 57%. We talked about last few years he shot left-handed. This year he's moved over shooting right-handed.
Does not look pretty. Run down though by Cheatham. What a play.
There's your hustle man. Silent Cheatham coming up with that loose ball.
11-second differential. Shot clock and game clock.
I think you want to have the ball in Kell's hand. Little two-man game. Your shooter spotting up in the corner.
Kell's got 20. Bulldogs got to make sure they box out here if the shot goes up. Shepard along the baseline. And we got a shot clock violation.
They may want to take a look at that. I'm not sure that ball may have hit the bottom of the rim when Shepard went up. It was a hard drive along the baseline. Let's take a look at that and see. At first I thought he might have stepped out of bounds there, but it looked like he stayed in. Now it goes up. Yeah, it hit the rim. Good call on the travel if they're not going to call the violation, the shot clock violation. Goes up there, yeah, right there. Ricochets straight back down. So that should have reset the shot clock. Now, did they call the travel or did they call the shot clock violation is the question. I think they called the shot clock violation.
It was definitely called a shot clock violation. Now our officials, we've got David Hall and Tommy Nunez over there. And interesting what they're going to do with this play now. Would they give it back to San Diego State with 11 seconds on the clock?
I think you have to. I mean, they had possession of the basketball. First look to see it didn't step out of bounds, but then it goes back up real close. You see the ricochet. It was underneath the basket, but it hit iron. They didn't call that travel. And now San Diego State has possession when the shot clock violation was whistled. So I think they've got to give the ball back to San Diego State. And I like the fact that they are allowed now to go to the video to check, make sure they get the call right here late in the contest like this.
Rodney Terry's not going to like the result of this call. So it will be San Diego State ball. And now if you're Fresno State, you may have to foul on contact.
Yeah, any chance you can get the ball in Skylar Spencer's hands, I think he'd be the one first choice you'd want to foul because he just missed one. Doesn't look very comfortable there at all at the free throw line.
0.4 seconds added to the clock. And now Fresno State will talk this over with 11.7 to play. Wild finish here in the Mountain West. Battle of the #1 team and #3 team in the conference. Fresno State. This would be really a monumental win for their program. Well, So far, Trey Kell has been the man for San Diego State. 8 of 11 shooting, 20 points. This is the best game we have ever seen him play.
Career high in scoring points, but also playing some good defense there. Lob pass, nice over the top from Shepard, able to score. A little splits the high man. This time it's Spencer with the assist and able to finish with that contact. But yeah, Trey Kell has played exceptionally well on the offensive end, splitting the defense that time. And even with a little bit of bump, he's managed to maintain his focus and get the ball in the basket.
Also 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He has filled the stat sheet.
Yeah, we talked about his rebounding from the guard spot, 5 a game and the 4 assists. I mean, just doing a little bit of everything. But that's what you want your sophomores and juniors and seniors to do. Provide that leadership. Might be a little nervous chewing the nails there, but that's okay.
Well, we got 2 great matchups coming up for you on Big Monday. 7 Eastern, it's Duke taking on Miami, an ACC clash. Grayson Allen leads the Blue Devils. And then at 9 o'clock, we head to Big 12 country. Kansas, led by Perry Ellis, taking on Iowa State. But here, a 2-point game with 11.7 to play. Drew Felios and Kyle Macy, the Kentucky legend.
Well, if you're Steve Fisher, you're talking to your team about executing solid picks without moving and being secure with the basketball. You know they're going to be aggressive, try to come in and commit or get the steal, but if not, they're going to commit the foul to put them on the free throw line. So you can't be haphazard with the basketball. You got to be strong with it, make good, solid, hard cuts, and snap passes.
Possession arrow favors the Aztecs as they try and get it in.
And a good move. They moved it into Trey Kell's hands because he's one of their better free throw shooters.
Lewis commits the foul. That'll be his 4th, and Kell will step to the line. And keep in mind, he is a decent free throw shooter, but not great by any stretch. Just over 60%.
There's only 3 of 6 tonight from the line. But he's the one that scored most of the points, so you got to feel he's the most comfortable shooting the basketball in this game anyway. Side door, but it went down.
Now if he misses his free throw, do you foul here if you're San Diego State?
You know, if you can, depends. I'm not sure what the total is. Is San Diego State in the bonus yet? They have 1 foul to give, so I would go ahead and let them get to half court and then commit that foul. But I'm not a big proponent of that because, especially if you're in the front court, if you would call a foul on the shot, it goes down. You have a chance to lose the game. This way, the least case scenario.
Harris fires it up underneath. 3-pointer on the way. It's good. An amazing shot. Ties the game at 57. Cesar Guerrero somehow.
How many times do you see that, whether it's a missed free throw or in this instance a missed shot, that you don't secure the basketball? And part of defense is trying to block the shot or getting good pressure on, but then you have to rebound it and secure the ball and just give Guerrero great individual effort, knowing the presence where that 3-point line is, gets 1 foot behind it, and somehow manages to get that shot off with the clock ticking down and running out as the ball goes through the basket.
Is it a 2 or a 3? His right leg is up, left leg behind the line, clearly a 3-pointer. Have you seen a shot like that all season long?
Well, that's a tough one. I mean, that 3-point step back shot off 1 foot. I mean, that left foot is definitely behind the line. And just give him a lot of credit. That was an awkward shot. His momentum was going back to his right. He still managed to get the ball to go back forward as all his momentum pushed him down to the floor, falling away. I think that's good because he only jumped off the left foot. If he had jumped off both feet, then it would have been a 2-point shot.
Tremendous court awareness by Cesar Guerrero. And Guerrero did not score the entire night.
Well, again, a senior, you're making the big plays. So now the question for San Diego State, they're trying to huddle back up and regroup, thinking they had this game won. 5 more minutes on the clock, so you got to get back to work. That's, I'm sure, what Steve Fisher is talking to the team about. Don't let up. Keep playing. But, you know, we saw on the other end earlier when San Diego State missed that free throw, they had a chance to put it away. They missed it, but then Cheatham got that offensive board, which is a big possession. So, you know, the defensive possession is not over until you secure the basketball, and that's by defensive rebounding.
So it is official. The three-pointer will count, and we are headed to overtime. Here is one more look. An 11-4 run by Fresno State to end the game. And here it is. We'll just lay out here.
And, you know, I think Harris kind of surprised him because he took that three-pointer so early and it was kind of an off-balance shot. Everybody got caught watching instead of playing.
How about Cesar Guerrero, a fifth-year senior out of Huntington Park, California. He is an extremely passionate player, sometimes wears his emotions on his sleeve and doesn't always go positive for Fresno State.
And making a three-pointer is not unusual for him. I mean, he shoots 43% from behind the three-point line. That's one of his strengths, things he does very well, shoot the three. Granted, it was a little bit awkward to shot, but he got it to go down.
And a little kiss and wave to the crowd. How about that charisma? We're going to overtime, Kyle. A little bit more than we bargained for here tonight. San Diego State and Fresno State. Foul on the floor. They get Guerrero. And that's going to be Guerrero's fourth foul. Aztecs have only scored one field goal in the last 7 minutes. Most of it is coming from the free throw line.
And Trey Kell back at the line where he just missed the one that would have iced the game. Offensive interference there. Looked like, was that Jones or who was that touched it on the bounce off the rim by Kell?
Yeah, they do count the bucket. Torrin Jones got a hand on it, looked like.
You know, international play, that's not. You can touch the ball in cylinder, but we're not playing international rules tonight.
(59-57) two-point game. Jones wants it on the block. Great play.
Jones has been a little bit quiet offensively tonight, but that time really exerted himself going to the middle of the little half hook with the right hand.
Torrin Jones 6 of 6 from the floor. He has not missed. Shepard turns and draws a foul as they're going to get Paul Watson, who got him on the arm.
And Shepard does a real good job just taking his time, keeps his head up so he sees where the help defense is coming if it does, and then feels the defender one-on-one with his backside, knows which way to go, whether spin baseline or go that time like he did towards the middle of the lane.
So now Winston Shepard. He's got 5 points tonight. But keep in mind, this is a guy who can turn it on in a hurry.
And you know the one thing we talked about, that streak of 156 games when leading in 5 minutes. San Diego State is not a real good free throw shooting team, so you would think there'd be games along the way where the missed free throws would cost them. In fact, this may be that game. They had a chance to get the 4-point lead. Instead, the three-pointer ties in regulation.
13 of 24 tonight from the line for the Aztecs. They again lead by 2. Guerrero calls for it. He wants to go to the rack. Can't finish. Underneath. Jones is too strong.
Spencer, excellent effort that time. Kind of got bumped out of bounds, came roaring back in to get that second chance rebound. Shepard in the lane. Couldn't get it off the glass.
And looks like we may have a push here as flying out of bounds was Cheatham.
But Cheatham went hard to the glass, but Ito did a real good job of blocking it out. In fact, as we take a look at it, watch how far he's blocked out of bounds. He makes a run from the glass there.
Oh,
Ito just keeps walking him out of bounds. Nothing intentional. He's just trying to block him out.
so now we're going to have Cheatham at the line. And Caracciado assess the personal.
Yeah, Cheatham 1 of 2 from the free throw line tonight. Does have 7 points on the evening. Played a good game. Been very active. Once again, a chance to extend the lead and not taking advantage.
Back in for Fresno State is Russo. He has had a big impact. Torrin Jones takes a break. 61-59. Fresno State was playing uphill for most of the night, but tied it in the final second with a three-pointer from their point guard, Cesar Guerrero. Aztecs with that tight man-to-man defense. Marvell Harris. Will the senior be heard from in crunch time? Takes Kell off the dribble. Missed the shot, but Ado has the follow. Boy, that Ado just always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, just effort plays. You're not going to get an offensive board unless you go to the glass, and he put himself in position to grab it and put it right back down.
15 now for Caracciado. He's got a double-double with 10 boards. Hemsley's been quiet offensively for San Diego State. Now it's Cheatham going to the rack. It's poked away, belonging to the Aztecs.
Shot clock down to 5.
Well, I'll tell you what, Fresno State in the final minutes, they've been so physical with San Diego State.
A little bit of San Diego State's own medicine, the way they play defensively.
Got to hurry up. This is Takari Allen. Kell wide open for 3.
A little bit of extra arms to get it over the defender, and nothing but net.
Everybody on their feet here at Viejas Arena. 26 points for the sophomore Trey Kell. Marvell Harris, the runner, and we're going to blow it dead before that. He was fouled on his way to the goal.
The last three-point shot by Trey Kell. The shot clock winding down. The kick out from Hemsley. He's got to get rid of it quick. Harris was down a dead run. Somehow managed to get it over his hand, and nothing but net.
And all of a sudden, that is a live bench in white. Trey Kell, best game of his career. 2-possession game now. Fresno State needs a bucket.
Yeah, Fresno State needs to go a little bit quicker as far as when they catch it. Be a little bit more assertive. Go right away. Don't just pound it a few times. Let the defense get set.
Ado tracks it down. Lewis resets. Marvell Harris has been guarded so tightly tonight. Right now, Takari Allen all over him. Finds an opening, can't finish.
Well, excellent job that time by Spencer to get the ball and get it to his teammate as he was falling to the ground so he wouldn't get called for traveling.
Coming up on a minute to play for Fresno State. When do you foul, Kyle?
Well, I think at this possession this late, you go ahead and play it out.
Looked like a traveling. Instead, they call a foul, and they're going to get Harris. And that's 4 on the Fresno State superstar.
Again, it'll put Spencer back at the free throw line. 0 for 2 tonight. Needs to take a little bit longer now when he gets the basketball. Take a look at the rim, almost bounces it and shoots without even taking a look at the rim. Much better this time. He's looking at his target.
How about that stroke?
That looked fine because he had a straight line in the basket and pointing at the basket with a good finish. But he took his time. You've got 10 seconds to shoot that free throw. Take a couple deep breaths. Look at your target. Get everything set the way you want it and then follow through. Shoot with confidence.
Cal, you're one of the greatest free throw shooters of all time in college and pro basketball. You would know. An 8-2 run now from San Diego State.
Well, he did just such a much better job, those 2 free throws, than he did in regulation play when he just caught it and shot it real quickly. He just took his time, went through his routine. That's the key. It's 85-90% mental when you shoot a free throw. Everybody knows how to shoot the basketball, so just repeat that routine.
Well, just under a minute to go in overtime, and this is how we got here. Just in case you missed it, end of regulation. Fresno State playing uphill. Harris trying to rush down court, fires the shot up. Guerrero somehow reels it in and gets off this.
I think Harris taking that shot with over 3 seconds to go kind of surprised San Diego State, and Guerrero just give himself great credit, all the credit for that individual play of grabbing the rebound, sprinting out behind the three-point line to get that shot to go. But then here in overtime, it's just back and forth. Trey Kell knocking down a rainbow 3 that time to give San Diego State the lead.
So if you are Fresno State, Kyle, are you thinking 2-pointer or do you have to shoot a 3 here?
No, I think you're okay going quickly to the basket, and if the defense sags, then you can kick it out and take a 3. I don't think you have to take a 3 right off. Play it out. Try to stretch the game out a little bit longer. Get a quick 2 if you can. Press. Try to come up with a steal. If not, then commit the foul. Start playing the free throw game. Because San Diego State is not a real good free throw shooting team.
Guerrero shoots the 3. Can't hit it this time. And Shepard going to get fouled over the back.
Yeah, see, because the defense was in position that didn't really get them moving just coming off that pick. So you'd rather go to the basket, make the defense collapse, have players spot up so they can't recover back out as quickly. And percentages show you shoot a better shot, a better percentage from behind the three-point line when the ball is inside out attack. You can kind of get your rhythm, step into the shot a little bit better.
Yeah, you would think in that situation Fresno State could get it too, because San Diego State had struggled from the line, make them earn it. As this one goes down and it's a 7-point game.
Well, I think one thing that Fresno State will learn from this game the next time they play is that they've got to go a little bit quicker offense. They don't want to catch it, hold it, bounce it 3 or 4 times, because by then San Diego State's defense has adjusted in perfect help position. So swing it to side, then attack the basket right away. Read the defense, kick it out, or try to score. Same thing here. You got to go.
Harris.
Oh, he bailed him out on the call, I think, that time.
He's going to get 3 shots.
You know, that's the one rule that they talked about preseason that I don't think they've really upheld their end, because they talked about the offensive player initiating contact on shot fakes. If the defense player holds their ground, I've seen more offensive players jump into defenders this year, maybe in the last 4 years, and I've not seen an offensive foul called on any of those yet.
So first free throws for Harris tonight. Here's what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, you see Allen holding his ground, arms straight up and down, and Harris kind of was the one that jumped forward to initiate that contact. That was kind of sketchy, but now I've seen a bunch of other ones where a player is just standing completely flat-footed still, and the player jumps into him, and they still call a defensive foul.
I think still, if you're Dakari Allen or any other defender, if you leave your feet in a situation like that, you're going to get whistled for a foul.
Well, ideally, you would not even like to have Harris get the basketball if you're playing defense. Try to deny him, make somebody else make a shot.
This game not locked up just yet. 69-64 with 38.5 seconds to play, and in comes the dough.
And you know, San Diego State made it hard on themselves the last time out against Boise State. Had a 10-point lead going down the stretch. Boise State able to cut it all the way down to 4.
Aztecs trying to break the press. Nearly lost it that time. Cheatham got hit on the arm.
And what we saw there, Cheatham really didn't want to handle the basketball because he didn't want to get fouled. He knows he doesn't have a lot of confidence in his free throw shooting. He's missed a couple already tonight. So trying to get rid of that hot potato to someone else. But you got to have confidence in yourself when you walk to that line, knowing you've practiced your free throws enough, knowing you know your routine, you're going to go through that routine and see the results being the same. That's the ball going in the basket.
Russo's got 4 fouls as Cheatham steps to the line, and Aztecs now stroking it from the charity stripe. And
you know, this is one I don't understand, though, when teams don't put players. I know you don't want to commit an offensive foul on the free throw line by jumping over the back, but you may get a long kick and get an offensive board, use more time off the clock.
Still 2-possession game. Harris drawing so much attention, nearly traveled. Watson couldn't get it to fall. Ado, one of the rare misses tonight. And a foul committed, and now the Aztecs really looking good.
And again, I think that the Bulldogs should have been going to the basket. You can take a quick 2, that's okay. Instead, you take that long, low percentage 3, and it really puts you in a bind if it doesn't go in. The percentages are very high against it going in.
Well, a frustrating night for Marvell Harris. He fouls out with 12 points.
Yeah, 7 points below his average, but that's what San Diego State does as a team defensively. We talked about it in the opening. He's one of the highest scorers in the conference play, and San Diego State one of the best defensive teams in conference play.
I think the main thing, he was held to 4 of 20 shooting from the floor. This Aztecs defense really locked in on him all night long.
And it wasn't just one player, it was a team effort. When he would get by the player that was guarding him one-on-one, there was always help there in position to make it difficult to score. Cheatham knocks them both down. And that was a good drive. I like that he went to the basket, Guerrero, that time, but you know, there was a couple guys spotting up, so you don't have to shoot it when you go to the basket. In fact, sometimes it's just a ploy to pull the defense in, open up your teammates.
Final 10 seconds, and this three-pointer put down by Paul Watson makes it a 5-point game. Bulldogs not giving up. I'll tell you what, they're probably not going to win this game, but there's going to be so many building blocks to look forward to as they look down the road in Mountain West playing. Keep in mind, they're going to play San Diego State again at their place.
It is going to be a loss, it looks like, but again, you can take some confidence from a game like this in the fact that you didn't play your best basketball. Your leading scorer didn't have the game that he normally is going to have, and things didn't always go your way, but you're right there, send the game into overtime and have a chance. But now under 8 seconds, when you do get the ball, I think you do have to shoot the 3.
That guy right there is going to have to lead the way. But tonight, some of the things that have haunted Fresno State this year, questionable shot selection at times, breakdowns on the glass, that really haunted them at points in this game.
It did. And I think some of that too, just because there's so many transfers coming in, it takes a while to kind of mesh and get the team going. And that's why we talked about that Italy trip really helping. Aztecs able to run the clock here before the foul. Took almost 7 seconds off the clock.
So that foul on Lewis, his 5th. He is done for the night. A tremendous game we have witnessed here in San Diego. The Aztecs are going to improve to 6-0 in conference play.
And not only 6-0, but to have 3 road wins of those 6 victories. I mean, they have a leg up definitely on everyone else in the conference. They've kind of got that Serena Slam going. Everybody else in the conference they played, the last time they played them, they've beaten them. And that streak continues.
Steve Fisher, San Diego State Aztecs winners tonight in overtime, 73-67. For Kyle Macy, I'm Drew Felios saying so long. The final score, 73-67. More basketball coming up next. Kansas and Oklahoma State.